Hello, my name is Lizzie, and this is Liz's Literary Life, and today we are beginning the second vlog for the Renaissance Wonders Readathon. So if you're totally lost, I don't know what you've been doing, how you found my channel, whatever, but Wonderthon, it's a readathon, I host it, it's been really fun. The first vlog came out a few days ago, and that covered the first week of the readathon, and this vlog is covering the second week of the readathon. So go back and watch that first one, I guess. And we are just going to jump right in to the second half of the readathon. We are picking up on Sunday, June 23rd, Sunday, June 23rd. We have 1 week left of the readathon, and let's just jump right into it.
Okay, so I am at the Joe Biden Delaware Welcome Center. I was just inside because they have Wi-Fi and we're solving these showcases. It was, also, I hope you can hear me over the AC in my car. It is 95 degrees out and I am not doing this update without the AC on. That was a crazy one. So we had, yesterday was our International Day of Peace because I was trying on wedding dresses. I was in an appointment at 11 and there was only going to be one showcase yesterday. Venice had a showcase before the cutoff yesterday, but no other team did. And I talked to Ruby and she was okay with International Day of Peace rather than trying to do something while I'm out and about in DC trying on wedding dresses. So that was why there was that Day of Peace. But yeah, so today we had the Venice showcase from yesterday. We had a Florence showcase and a Rome showcase. And also Milan got their second wonder. So lots to update on. I'm going to talk about the showcases first and what that did to the overall points because it changed things. So the first one was the Rome showcase against Milan. They picked economics, which was a good choice for them. I think that was probably, I don't actually know for sure, but I think that was the farthest distance between them in categories. So good choice on their part. And that put them ahead of Milan in overall points. It was an opossum, which is like, I wish I still have my laptop out, but I was doing it like there were lots of people in the rest stop, obviously. But it was like 20 points, I think. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong. So a 20 point difference. So the prize was, I think, like, 7 or 8 points. So that put them ahead of Milan. So they are currently in first place by just a smidgen. And then Florence was thinking about not declaring, and I was like, come on. But they decided to declare against Venice in art, which was, again, a really good choice. Their art points are like crazy high compared to their other points. If their other points were up where their art points are, they would be solidly in third place. And they won. They were an aardvark against Venice, so that's awesome. And that got them like a ton of points as a prize. And then Venice went back against Florence in economics, which they won. So everyone won their showcases that they declared today, which is always exciting. Though I think it's exciting when someone declares and loses as well. I think that man just looked and saw me vlogging, so that's cool. But the Venice victory against Florence was smaller than the Florence victory against Venice. It was a raccoon, which we haven't had a raccoon yet, but a raccoon is smaller than an aardvark. I did research on animal sizes and weights and everything. It's going by weight, not length, actually, in case you were curious. It is the weights of these animals in kilograms was what I looked up. Anyway, so they almost evened out. Like, they almost went balanced, but So Venice is still ahead of Florence, but by like less than a point. Because the Florence victory was bigger than the Venice victory. So it's less than a 1 point difference between them now. And Florence has actually been gaining faster than Venice had. One of the mystery stats the other day was the rabbit, which was points gained without showcases in the last 24 hours, and Florence won that. So Florence is gaining points quickly. So they, I think, definitely can overtake Venice within probably today, maybe tomorrow, and that would be exciting. So we've got some shakeups to the scores. Oh, Martine is messaging me. Martine has the tea for me. Okay. I'm going to quickly tell you about Milan's thing and then tell you Martine's tea if it's like something I can share, obviously. So Milan got their wonder, their second wonder, their sculpture, the Rondani Pieta, which is a showcase bonus. And the showcase bonus options, it's a spinner wheel. So I told them the options back in the Joe Biden Delaware Welcome Center. And I told them the options, they discussed, and then I was like, actually, it's a spinner wheel, you don't get to choose. So they spun, but they spun what I think a lot of people wanted. People wanted different things. So I think someone would have been happy no matter what. But the options, option number 1 is that they take half damage, so 5% damage instead of 10% when they lose a showcase. Option 2 is that graphic novels no longer count as half points for showcase points. They still do for wonder points, but you can earn showcases faster by reading graphic novels. Option 3 is my favorite just because it's the most chaos, and that's that when deciding who to showcase, you can give me a category and I will tell them who is in second place in that category. So like they say, what about econ? And I say, oh, Rome is in second place in econ. And then they can declare in that category, but they don't have to. I think that's a fun one. And then the fourth one, which is what they end up spinning, is they get 50% as a prize instead of 40%. So the options are like less damage, more often showcases, a little bit of information, or more prize. And they spun more prize. So that's the update. Very exciting. I gotta get driving. I have stopped like so much on this. Like I was in Maryland and now I'm in Delaware and it's been like 3 hours. That's a little bit of an exaggeration. It's been 2.5 hours. But I will get home. I will get home eventually. Rome's pretty close to their second wonder too, so that's exciting. They may get that today as well. In case you were curious, Martine's tea was to both me and Ruby, giving Milan's economic score per their agreement. So Rome and Venice are still in that treaty to share information about Milan. So Rome shared their economic score with Venice, and that was the tea that I got just now.
Hi, I'm home. It's so like funny to me and interesting to me that first and second is such a close race and third and fourth are so close, but the gap between second and third is like enormous. So that's something. That's something for sure. Because currently Rome and Milan are about 3 points apart and Venice and Florence are about half a point apart. So craziness. Hello, I look a hot mess, so excuse that. But last night, Rome did achieve their wonder advantage, their second wonder advantage. And they got the same options that Milan did. I feel like I should shower, but it's too close to showcase time for me to shower, so you just get to deal with looking at me looking like this. They got the same options as Milan, and Rome spun the graphic novel one, so they now can earn showcases faster, and they actually, because of the recalculation, have 2 showcases today. So today, in 5 minutes, I will announce that there are 3 showcases today. Milan has 1 and Rome has 2. Now, it's interesting because it's changed since I last looked at it. The only category that Milan can beat Rome in is art. And I think Rome might be planning to do an art showcase against Milan, maybe? I don't know. I can't remember what they were talking about. But that's like Rome's points are very even across the board, and Milan's art is higher than anything else. So I'm hoping. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Because currently Rome is ahead of Milan. Also, the other update is that Florence did pass Venice. As of the end of last vlog, Venice and Florence were really, really close, but Venice was still a little bit ahead. But Florence has passed Venice, so they're now over a whole point ahead. So Venice, now the scoreboard is Rome, Milan, Florence, Venice. But points are close, so these showcases could shake that up. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Okay, excuse me being sweaty and sunscreeny because I was just outside, but my neighbor is also outside, so I am here to do this update. We just had some absolutely insane showcases. So Milan and Venice had showcases today, and they both chose science. So Milan went after Venice in science, which was a yak. And we haven't had a yak yet. That's the biggest animal we've had so far. So yeah, there was a yak's worth of damage. And then Venice went after Florence in science, and that was a flea's worth of damage. So we had our biggest animal thus far and our smallest animal thus far, which is kind of crazy. The other thing is that Venice and Rome are still in their info sharing alliance against Milan. So Venice got to tell Rome what Milan's score was, science score was, which was 77.36, and Rome is currently at 80 science points. So they know that they're a smidgen ahead of Milan in science. However, Milan is planning on boosting their science to go against Rome next showcase. And they're close enough that they could do it. So that's a thing. The overall scores at this point, Milan is at 125 because they got like 18 points prize from that because they have the 50% instead of 40% prize. And that was a big gap with the yak. So they're at 125, Rome is at 115, Florence is at 45, and Venice is at 42. So the Florence-Venice gap has gotten bigger as well, and Venice is now in last place. So my next book will probably be submitted to Venice, which is exciting just because I like to submit to multiple teams. But craziness. That was so fun. It's like, it's times, like I said in my group chat with my team captains and a couple other people, like with my booktube friends, I said in my group chat, like, I think I made a good game, you know? Like, this is one of those times where I'm like, this is a fun game that I made. So, pat self on back, you know? Yeah. I'm having a good time. I hope you're having a good time. I'm going to go read and probably submit a book to Venice fairly soon. Things are tense here in Italy. Gosh, the emotions are getting high. In today's showcases, we had a sperm whale, which we have not had yet, and we had a yak. So, Rome sperm whaled Florence in civics, which was a choice because it's Rome's highest category and Florence's lowest. So that's I think the biggest difference that could have happened in this game was Rome Florence civics, and they chose it, and it happened. But then Florence did art against Venice, which was, I think, a good move for them because they made up a lot of the points that they lost. And that was a yak. And like someone in Florence was pointing out, the prizes are always bigger than the damages. So, like, what did they say? They said, it was funny. Someone said, like, so when we lose a whale, it's a baby whale, but when we win a yak, it's the yak god. And, like, yeah. So they made up points a lot. So our current standings are Rome at 145, Milan at 130, Florence at 58, and Venice at 42. So that's where we're at. I submitted a book to Venice last night, so I've now submitted to 2 teams. I submitted That Summer by Sarah Dessen for civics for Venice things are looking good. Things are happening. We had our points update live last night for the first time on the sprints. And yeah, things are happening. We have 5 days left of the readathon. Um, 2 points updates left tomorrow and then on Saturday. And things are happening. Things are happening. I'm gonna try to read some more and submit some more to Venice. So Venice, if Venice attacked, yeah, the thing about Florence is that their art score is so much higher than the others. They have almost 80 points in art and only 36, 42, 43 in the others. So like while that's not a great strategy for the averages, they kind of got to be underestimated, and then got to really hit Venice with their art score. Like they are only 10 points behind Rome and Milan in art. So that is like actually maybe a good strategy for them. I don't know if it was on purpose to have their art score be much higher, but it like kind of worked because then they were really underestimated and they're not actually losing very much in other showcases because you never really lose very much. And then they can come out and win a lot of points with their art score. So it does bring their average down to have the categories so imbalanced, but it kind of works showcase strategy wise. So good for them. And if they get to their 7,000 wonder advantage, which I don't know if they will, but if they did, you don't know what that is yet, but it could work out for them. Okay, we just had like a whirlwind showcase time. I announced that there were 3 showcases, which were 1 from Milan and 2 from Rome, with Rome's graphic novel second wonder advantage. They can earn them a lot faster. And then immediately Martine and Bailey both submitted the form because they had already decided, and so I was like, I guess I will just announce them now. So we had oh, I already deleted it. I have to go to this page in my spreadsheet. We had, the first one was Rome against Milan Civics, and Milan actually won. So that was fun. I think it's always fun when a team wins a showcase that they didn't declare. And actually, in the Rome chat, one of the other options was to do 2 Civics showcases against Milan, which would have been drama because then Milan would have won both. But that one was a raccoon win for Milan. And then we had Milan-Rome. Milan declared against Rome in science, which was a flea win for Milan. So they thought science was their strong point. Actually, it was civics. And then the second Rome one was against Milan and econ, and Rome did win as an aardvark. So, I think so. Venice and Florence were safe. This was like a full head-to-head, back-and-forth situation. But I think, what was I going to say? I wish I had taken note of the points right before, the overall points right before the showcases to see exactly what happened. But I'm pretty sure that this kind of didn't change the standings very much. Like, they kind of balanced themselves out. So we currently have Rome at 172, Milan at 163, Florence at 66, and Venice at 48. But a lot of things can shake up in the last few days. It is the 28th, so there is today, tomorrow, and Sunday left in the readathon. And I think the showcases are going to be, I think Venice and Florence are not going to be safe at the end of this, because in order to get a lot of points, you do need to go after the little guys, which I think is one of the flaws of the game this year. I think next year I'm going to work to have it be like more risk, more reward situation with our battle showcase mechanic, but that's for later me to figure out. But yeah, things are crazy. Things are heating up in the last little bit. Florence is really close to their second wonder. They're currently at 2927. So I'm hoping they can get that today and then a showcase tomorrow to actually use that bonus. And no one's close to the 7,000 wonder points. But it is what it is. Also, I forgot to mention, Rome and Venice are still in this fun information sharing alliance against Milan. Honestly, Venice is not contributing much, but, whatever. I think they're having fun with it. But now, because there were showcases between Rome and Milan in 3 categories, they now know each other's points in 3 categories. So Rome knows all of Milan's points, Milan knows all of Rome points, and Venice knows all of Milan's points too. So that's just fun and exciting. Today's showcases were kind of brutal, honestly. Both Milan and Rome had a showcase, and they both went after Florence. Rome, because they're still in an alliance with Venice, like they're still doing the information sharing with Venice, and they're not attacking Venice, which someone, I think it was Bailey, made a comment in Milan chat saying, like, why are Rome not going after Venice ever? And it's because they're in an alliance. But yeah, so they both went after Florence. Milan's win was bigger by like a chunk. So Milan did civics, which is their highest and Florence's lowest, and the difference was like 90 points. And so it was a sperm whale plus a yak because sperm whale goes up to 60. And above that, it was 30 more points above that, a little over 30 more points above that, which is a yak. And Milan has the 50% prize, which, by the way, the other day, Bailey accidentally put something about how many points they won in the general chat or the showcase chat instead of Milan team chat, and she deleted it right away, but a bunch of people saw it, but she was wrong about the number. So like Rome is taking that as evidence that they didn't get the 50% prize wonder, but Bailey was just wrong. They did get the 50% prize wonder. Did I update you that Florence got their wonder yesterday? Their second wonder, they got the 5%, the half damage wonder, which definitely helped them out today. So they actually did not go down that much. They're still in third place. But Milan got like 45 points from that whale plus yak. And Rome got a whale plus a gerbil in, I think, economics. And they got a good number of points, but Milan was close behind Rome before, and now they're ahead. So currently we have Milan at 222, Rome at 206, Florence at 66, and Venice at 52. So kind of rough for Florence. But honestly, Florence, like the way that it's structured with the damage being much lower than the prize, it didn't actually hurt Florence that much. They're still in third place. It just, Milan and Rome are kind of using them to get points, which is the way the game is set up. That's fine. But yeah, and Venice is still in last. The other thing that happened today is Florence almost got a showcase in time. They got a showcase, like they got to their 12 points at like 11:05. So they were just too late. But that means they'll have one, definitely have one tomorrow, and they might even get to a second one tomorrow. So tomorrow is the last day. Things are crazy. Things are moving. I will give you plenty of updates. Okay, I'm here with today's update. And I like actually set up my camera so that I'm not like, you know, and then it's shaky and then I can't talk for very long because my arms get tired. We had a lot happen today. The first thing that happened was at about 1 a.m. last night, Venice got their second wonder. And I was awake, but I was like, I need to go to bed. And not a lot of other people on Venice were awake, so I wanted to wait until the morning. Yeah, so Venice got their second wonder. They spun the same thing as Florence, which was the half damage, 5% damage, which I think is good. I feel like every team got a second wonder that was really beneficial to them. Because Milan got the 50% prize, and that has really worked out for them. Rome got the graphic novels count for full points. Showcase points, which has really worked out for them. They've gotten so many more showcases. And then Florence and Venice getting the kind of defensive one where they take less damage, I feel like has really worked out for them too. So I'm pleased with that. I'm a little disappointed that no one got the sneak peek one because I just think that one was really fun. But also I think if Venice or Florence had gotten that, maybe they would have been disappointed. But I think it would have been fun if Rome or Milan got that, but it is what it is. The spinner wheel does what the spinner wheel does. And then at like 7:30 this morning, Milan got their third wonder. So they reached the 7,000 wonder point threshold, which I really did not know if anyone would actually reach.
And I'm about to tell you what that was, because I don't know if anyone, I mean, Rome could get there today, but I don't think they will. So it is a Milan exclusive bonus. And they had a choice between two options, not four, two options. Option one was that their highest score, category score, would be counted as double in the averaging. So it'd be like their highest score times 2 plus the other 3 divided by 5. And that would boost their score because the highest score would be counted more. Or option 2, which is what they went with, they could drop their lowest category score. So giving up on one category, basically, which is risky because they could then get showcased in that category. But it does boost their score because it's the 3 highest categories divided by 3, and the lowest one is just gone. They decided to drop their lowest category, which is art. So art is currently at 101 points for them, which is their lowest by quite a margin, actually. Which is interesting because it's actually, at the early game, it was everyone's highest, but now it's not. It's only Florence's highest. But yeah, so they decided to do that. It boosted them a little more, and they felt like they wouldn't be showcased in art. We'll see if that happens. It didn't happen today, but it could happen in the rest of today. And then showcases. It was exciting today because every single team had a showcase today, so that was exciting. And I don't remember what order I announced them in. Oh, it's still right here. So Venice showcased Florence in Econ, and they got a yak. Milan showcased Venice in Civics, which is Milan's highest score by a wide margin, and Venice's lowest, not quite their lowest score, but close to their lowest score. And it was a double sperm whale plus a raccoon. It was a 139 point difference. So each sperm whale is 60 points. It's 50 to 60 points. So 2 60s and then 19 is a raccoon, a big raccoon too, because raccoon is 15 to 20. So that was an ouchie, and also like really boosted Milan because they have the 50% prize, so they got almost 70 points just from that showcase. And then Rome showcased Florence in Civics, which was just over 100 points, which was a sperm whale and a hippo, which still a lot, but they only got 40 points from that, whereas Milan got 70 from their showcase. And then the last one was Florence Rome Art, which Florence lost. They wanted to go out with a bang, and I appreciate that. I do. I really appreciate that. And it wasn't a big loss, it was just a raccoon loss. So, and they have the 5%, like the half damage, so that's good too. The rest of the day, we'll see what showcases happen. I said I would announce them as they happen. I know Rome will get another one. They're pretty close. And it's possible that Florence will. I think Milan might. But definitely Rome will. So we'll see what happens. And then, yeah, so tomorrow I take out Ghosts, which everyone's actually kind of on par with Ghosts. Let me take a look. Ghosts are people who haven't submitted. Milan has the lowest ghost percentage, at 10%. But Florence, Rome, and Venice are all 14 to 16%. People who haven't submitted at all. So people who didn't submit, who signed up and then didn't submit anything, get taken out at the end. And that boosts everyone's scores. But like if you have more ghosts, it's going to boost your score more. Yeah. I wanted to talk real quick about like strategies. I don't really know what I'm going to say, but I know that's what people are interested in. Florence, obviously, everyone knows this, but Florence really boosted art. Their art score is more than twice any of their other scores, which is interesting. And I will, for the results show, do a breakdown of the percentage of books that went to each category, because I think that's interesting. Florence also has the longest average page count, which is also interesting. But they haven't had a really distinct strategy. They've been kind of going with the flow, but their art has consistently been the highest. Rome is very much like, I feel like they're very reactive to showcases. Like a showcase happens, they find out a score, and they have this alliance with Venice where they find out Milan scores as well. And
then they like boost a certain category based on that. They are very coordinated, where like they say, well, we're going to boost this score, and then they do. Venice. Venice has just been chugging along. Economics is their highest score by quite a bit. It's at 92, and the others are in the 50 range, which is interesting. That is their wonder category. I feel like I don't think I can't measure how often each team used their wonder. That would be something I would like to ask next time. But because I just for an interesting stat, but I feel like they've been using their wonder a lot. They've just been trying their hardest. Their strategy for pretty much the whole thing has been just put it where you can get the most points, which I guess has been economics for most of them. And then Milan, while Rome was very, and you can, if you're on this team, you can correct me if you're wrong. I feel like Rome was reactive to what happened in showcases. Milan was very proactive. They would decide like a whole day in advance. This is what we're going to do at our next showcase, so boost this score. They'd be like, we're going to go science against Rome, so boost science in the next 24 hours. And then they would do science against Rome and then regroup and decide what they're doing for their next showcase. And that meant that when there were showcase negotiations going on during that 11 to 12 hour, Milan always decided so fast because they had it decided for like a day beforehand. So Bailey always submitted the form super fast. Whereas Rome, I loved being in Rome's chat during the showcase negotiations because I loved the way Martine ran those, where they really like teased out their options and really discussed and spent a long time discussing with everyone's opinions and trying to figure out what they were going to do. So yeah, that's a little insight into people's strategy. Points as of right now, Milan is at 328, Rome is at 272, Florence is at 66, and Venice is at 64. So Venice could still come in with the third place. Like, it's possible. Depends what happens with showcases later in the day. Milan is probably taking this win, but Rome could get there with showcases because they can get showcases faster. So I'm not going to call it yet. I'm not calling it till it's over. It's not over till it's over. So we shall see what happens.
Hello. It's 12:30 a.m., which means the readathon is technically over in EST, but PST folks still have another 2.5 hours. I'm about to go to bed, but it's been drama today. Past, like, when I resolved the 11 a.m. showcases and updated you, we had 3 showcases, 2 from Rome, 1 from Milan, all against Florence, which is rough, because they were big hits to Florence. But currently our scores are Milan at 440, Rome at 381, Venice at 69, and Florence at 58. And tomorrow morning, bright and early for me, we will have showcases from Florence, Rome, and Milan. So we'll see what happens. I know Rome is trying to get another one because they have a lot of PST readers, but we'll see. They need to read 97 books, those PST readers. We'll see what happens. But Milan can probably get another big win, even if they were talking about going after Venice this time, but even so, actually, Venice Civic is even better than Florence Civic for them. Like, that's an even larger gap. I don't know if even 2 showcases from Rome will make up 1 large showcase from Milan, but we'll see. I don't know. I haven't crunched the numbers, so we'll see what happens tomorrow morning. It's anyone's game. This is crazy. I know Florence is going to go after Venice in art, probably, and that's going to be a big win, too, so first and second is a shakeup. Third and fourth is a shakeup. Like, I don't know. We'll see tomorrow morning. Good night. Hi, good morning. Excuse my, from my CPAP mask. I have a new mask and it's doing things. But, so this morning we have Florence, Milan, and 2 Rome showcases. And I don't know who's gonna win.
Like, I without actually crunching the numbers, I don't know who's gonna win. Milan's ahead by about 50 points right now. But with an... I don't... We'll see.
I just did the showcases. Milan got 3 sperm whales. Rome got 4 sperm whales within their 2 showcases. I still don't know who's gonna win. I'm about to scroll up and look at the leaderboard, though this could still change when I take out ghosts, or if like people, if it's really close and people have more submissions they didn't submit last night before noon. But I'm gonna look right now. Okay. 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 I'm gonna tell you. I don't think that ghosts are gonna change it this much because the gaps are pretty wide. We have currently Milan with 539, Rome with 508, Florence with 75, and Venice with 55.
And that's a wrap on Wonderthon 2, the Renaissance Wonders Readathon. I had an absolute blast. I hope you did too. Big congrats to Milan for the win. If you did not watch the results show, I highly recommend it. It was super fun. It was not just announcing the winner. We did stats, we did individual awards, we did team awards. It was awesome. So definitely go watch that. And that's it for this vlog. Thank you for joining me if you joined me for the readathon. And I'm already thinking about next year. So the wheels are turning. So I hope you'll be back joining us again next year. If you did not fill out the feedback form, if you participated and did not fill out the feedback form, I'll link it down below because that is so helpful to me, knowing what you liked and didn't like and how you felt about the readathon as a whole. So yeah, comment down below something about the Wonderthon experience. Give this video a like, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to all your team captains because they'll be linked down below as well. And I will see you in the next one coming very soon. Bye.